Well, hello there and welcome back. Welcome to our second hour with Pink Frog. You may well have caught the show earlier on. I think it was 10 a.m. this morning. And our fabulous Claire is rejoining us for this hour. Claire, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Well, you were doing your little froggy bit then as the tune was playing.
I can't help it.
I was very impressed. Very impressed. Some good moves there. Now, during this hour, we've got some amazing deals for you. Some fabulous different kind of styles of sizes of cardstock for a variety of different reasons. And we'll explain that more as the hour goes on. But we're talking a lot of watercolour cardstock during this hour. And I have to say, Claire, it's one of the most versatile cards to work with, really, isn't it? Because you can use it in so many different ways.
It is. And for me, it's just so forgiving.
Yes, that's a good way of putting it, yeah.
If it doesn't quite go right the first time, you can go back and have another go, whereas a lot of other card will start to pill or warp.
Yeah.
Watercolour is, you know, just keep going back and layer and layer and layer.
Exactly, so, especially when you're looking at the quality that we're looking at here as well.
Yeah.
And I love this bundle because I was chatting to you earlier on and you were saying it's almost like a starter bundle. A lot of people getting into crafting, beginning of the year, new hobby maybe.
Definitely, you know, and a lot of people kind of go, oh, I'd like to try something different. So maybe, you know, if you're maybe more mixed media, you want just try something different. So yeah, that first one is very much a bit of everything that we bring, really. So there's a stamp set, some pencils, some watercolour and even a little bit of super smooth for you to have a go with.
It is. It's a brilliant combination. You can see the details of which are up on your screen. Now, when we're creating cards, mixed media projects, it doesn't matter what we're creating. Quite often we go towards florals when we are creating. I mean, we use them in so many different occasions, don't we? It could be a birthday that you're creating a card for. It could be a sympathy. It could be an anniversary. All sorts of different occasions. Flowers very regularly appear. And a chrysanthemum is a beautiful flower that you can use within this stamp set to give you lots of different opportunities. Now, not only have you got the fabulous stamp set, you've also got your watercolour cardstock, and as you heard, you've got a little bit of super smooth in this one as well. So, like Claire said, it's almost like a little selection box of lots of different elements that you can use. Now, the pencils are phenomenal. They're aquarelle pencils, come to us by Staedtler, so you know their quality. I mean, that's a brand name that we all know and love, Claire.
It is, and they are brilliant quality as well. So you put a bit of colour down, the colours are really vibrant as well, and just by adding a little tiny bit of water, they start to move. So yeah, love them.
And it's a natural way of getting colour in, because I mean, obviously we hear of watercolour paints being in a palette, but sometimes if you're not comfortable with that format, often a pencil is the first thing. Even as children, that's the first thing that we pick up to create with and write with, isn't it? So it's
and it's just a really easy way to lay some colour down. So, you know, kind of put a bit of colour and then use your water brush or a bit of water to
I must admit, it's my preferred way of using watercolour, I have to say, because I just feel as if I'm in control. And I'm no artist at all.
And I think that's exactly the same for me, is that I want tools and stamps that I can use to make me look artistic, even though I'm not.
That's it. And be comfortable at the same time, because I mean, these are the kind of cards that you could be creating as confidence builders. And as you can see, I mean, that chrysanthemum, such a striking flower, giving you loads of different styles. And of course, when you start getting into techniques, there's loads of ways you can use that stamp, as you can see there, with a little bit of a resist going on. So the price on your screen is a phenomenal deal. You're saving £4.20, so it's a brilliant price of £26.99. A lovely bundle as a gift or treat to yourself. Maybe after Christmas and the New Year you fancy treating yourself. Well, you can't go far wrong with this one. And the fabulous stamp that you've got, it's got sentiments and all sorts in there. Now, it's been a popular bundle, so if you're wanting to get hold of yours, nearly 40% of the stock has gone. We had good quantities of this one, so 060447. Now, a lot of you may already have your watercolour palettes or your means of adding your colour, and lots of you are going for the stamp set by itself. So you can see it, £14.95. It is a really affordable price. It's an A5 stamp, it is, and it shows you there just how popular it has been, with the 12 stamps for just £14.95. Also as well, let's have a look at that price in comparison. For about £12 extra, you are getting those pencils and your cardstock as well. So it really does show the value of your bundle if you're getting it all together. But it's all about choices here at the craft store. So you can go for the bundle or you can go for those individually. And there's lots and lots of other ways for you to get hold of your watercolour card as well. If you want to jump onto the the website, you will find them all, but we will go through them and talk about the benefits of having the different cuts of these. So we were looking at obviously your A4, but sometimes we come across it where it's cut, pre-cut, ready for us to use for our card bases. Now here we've got a brilliant bundle where you're going to get 80 sheets. So it's the same watercolour cardstock. It's unscored, so you can actually add your folds wherever you choose. But this is something that Pink Frog do so well. They bring us those cuts which are easily divisible when you come to do your fancy folds. So these are 10.5 centimetres wide, so basically half of your vertical of your A4, but they are 30 centimetres long, which means it's nice and easy if you need to divide it up for whatever reason, whether you're just simply folding it in half to make your cards, or you wanted to do your trifolds or whatever. 30 is so much easier to divide, isn't it, than 29.7, which I think is your standard A4. But of course, with these, you're going to have all those different techniques that you're going to want to use as well. And here's just a little kind of taster of one of them. But Claire, you've got some boards there to talk us through some others.
I have, yeah. So this is a great way to show you what we've got really, and what you can do with watercolour card. And I look at these now and I think it barely touches the surface, even though we've got 3 boards. So just for your watercolour painting, I have to say thank you to Caroline who did this. So just a little painting, so you can use it for your watercolour. Faux bleaching, so just put some ink down, spray, put a bit of tissue on top, lift it up, you'll get that effect. Spritz of a stamped image, this is a great way to make backgrounds. Stamp your image in Distress or Distress Oxides, give them a spray, it'll move the ink, and then if you want more detail you can go back either in the same colour, or there we've added it in black just to make it pop. Watercolour also embosses beautifully, so this one's been embossed and then we've used some ink over the top. So even though it's been embossed, I've used water over the top again, and that emboss has stayed, so it's a really good structured
I love that
card.
technique, that looks fabulous.
Drip technique, really easy, bit of ink pad smooshed across the top, give it a spray and it'll drip. Just inking through a stencil, and we'll show you how to do that, but with some water as well. You can get some great effects with that.
Wonderful.
Mica spray, so any of your sprays, and then add your mica, so your pearly winks, things like that through there. Oxide, so this we've just stamped the image with an oxide ink, and then just used a little bit of water to move that.
Clever.
So the colour has actually come from the ink itself.
So the outline has kind of been inked and you've used the water to draw it into the centre.
So it almost looks as though you've drawn it a little bit more, because you haven't got that harsh black or grey. I know we sometimes try and use paler colours, but if you actually use the colour that you want on your image on your stamp, and then just pull that colour.
Almost looks like it's been drawn, doesn't it? I love
Yeah.
that. That's just 8 techniques on that first board, but there's loads more. What else can we do?
So you can also die cut it. It die cuts beautifully. So there we've used one of our little bride dies, but yeah, great for florals, all kinds of things. Crumpled paper effect, so yeah, that was white watercolour.
Oh wow.
We just scrunched it up, put plenty of water on it, bit of ink over it, scrunched it again. But it'll dry quite flat as well. It's really malleable. And
it hasn't kind of disintegrated. You haven't had holes appear in there.
Not at all. You know, and these boards get handled quite a lot, and it's still going strong. Heat embossing. You'll see us use that as a bit, like you said, as a resist, but just if you want it to stand out, we've used some gold embossing powder.
And it's a nice smooth watercolour card, because sometimes it's got a tooth, so you can't always stamp that well.
Yeah,
with this one you can.
This one kind of fits in the middle somewhere. That it's definitely got. It's almost got like a creamy texture to it as well. It feels nice. Brushos or any kind of like pigments, throw them down, spray with water. Bubble wrap technique. So there again, throw a load of ink down, give it loads of water, and then drop some bubble wrap in. Let it dry, and you'll get that effect. Similar with a cling film technique, but there we've put some gold through it as well, and you can just see that shimmering away. The salt technique, exactly the same. Ink down, loads and loads of water. Put the salt on.
I mean, these examples are showing that you can have it quite precise if you want it to, but then you can have the fluidity of quite random if you wanted to.
And if any of these don't work out exactly how you want, stamp an image over the top and then add a bit more definition with your pencils.
Good idea.
You know, or
Love
stencils or anything like that. So nothing's ever wasted. And that's what I love about
What else can we do? Because you've got another board.
I've got one more. Yeah, so just torn edges. It looks great. So a bit of ink gives you a really nice soft edge. Just stamped and coloured with watercolour pencils. That's actually just coloured, I think, that one. Watercolour pens, again, we've dragged that out. Just putting your water down and putting your watercolours over the top as though you were painting, bit of texture paste, using it just to mop up as well. So when you've got all those bits left on your mat, just pick it up with, you know.
That's a good point, because we're always seeing Leonie and Lou, everybody pick up the colours,
Yeah, card blank, this one's a bit battered now, but it is really good for structure as well. And I've used it on the jelly plate as well, so it will work on the jelly plate. So,
and like you say, that's just scratching the surface, because I know so many people use it in so many more ways.
Definitely.
We'd spend a whole hour, couldn't we, going through those boards?
Easily.
I love it. So there you go, it gives you an idea. Now don't forget, the watercolour cardstock that we've been talking about is coming in lots and lots of different varieties, but lots of different sizes with regards to the cut. So it's the same watercolour cardstock, so you can confidently do all those techniques, but it's pre-cut to make it more convenient for you to use in a variety of different ways. So this particular one, you've got your long slender pieces, so they're 30 centimetres long, 10.5 centimetres wide, and of course that means that straight away you could just score it at that halfway point, 15 centimetres along on your scoreboard. Straight away you've got a fabulous card base, which makes it very, very easy for you to work with. Of course, if you want to do a trifold, then you just score it at every 10 centimetres, and that allows you to do things like your zigzag cards. You could do things like your gatefold cards as well. But all of those techniques mean that once you've actually created your card, and it might be your card base, you can use those techniques direct to it, because the card can cope with it. That's the beauty of these. £10.99 getting you those 80 sheets, brilliant value for money, unscored, so you can decide how you're going to put it together. But as you can see there, the details are on your screen. If you're wanting to bulk buy with these ones and go for multiples, you can do. It's not limited to one per customer, and it's a good opportunity to stock up on some of these as well. So 993 567 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Now, the next bundle has been one that's been really, really popular throughout both of the shows, to be honest, and you've got a bit of variety in this one. So different sizes with these. So you've got your very traditional A4, which of course gives you lots of scope for all sorts of different things. Then you've got your A5 in here, and you're going to get 50 sheets of each of those. Then you've got your A6, and this is where you've got 100 of those. Really is a bumper bundle, and it's been an incredibly popular one, so much so that over 70% of the stock has gone. I love that price there. They're £21.97. Amazing price there. Saving £18. What an incredible saving. Beauty is with the different sizes, Claire. I mean, you're covered for all eventualities. I mean, we've got gift boxes and bags and things like that here.
Definitely. And this is I've got mine in a plastic box next to me, and this is just a box that I've dipped into for all my prep. So a lot of the centerpieces of my card, you know, I've done like practice bits on it, you know, try different techniques on it, and then obviously you've got the bigger pieces if you want to actually make cards with it as well.
It's a really, really convenient point. Now, with this one, it's acid and lignin free, so what does that mean?
That means that it's suitable for your scrapbooking.
Okay.
So,
so all those memory projects, nothing's going to kind of fade over time.
Yeah, great for memory books, tags, anything that you know, kind of even your journaling, really.
Good point.
You know, if you want to keep that. So, yeah, and that's the same for all of the watercolour card that we've got. It's all acid and lignin free.
And definitely don't throw out any of your scraps. I love this. It's almost like a little gallery there. Beautiful.
It is, and just tiny little bits that, like you say, you would maybe throw away. And that's what I said, if something hasn't quite worked, put a little silhouette stamp on, it changes it completely. Doesn't it just?
And of course, having the different sizes means you've already got your A5, your A6, so you can layer these up beautifully as you go. You don't have to do any cuts. And if you're a bit like me and you're trying to do a cut that's straight, then you suddenly end up going from an A4 sheet, and before you know it, you've got something that's about 2 inches square with all the bits that you've trimmed away. So with these, they're all pre-cut. You don't have to worry about cutting them, but equally so, you can trim them down if you're wanting to. And of course, they're beautiful for you to score, fold, and use in so many different ways. But what an absolute bargain. £18 saving, but nearly 3/4 of the stock has gone. If you've never worked with Pink Frog watercolour cardstock before, can I highly recommend this particular bundle, because it's got everything that you need in there, and you can see a bumper size. I mean, there's loads in here. 100 of those A6 cards. Beautiful. 713 653 if you're wanting to get hold of those. Now, if you're wanting to do your square cards, then this is a brilliant bundle for you, because with this one, they're all pre-cut to the exact dimension dimensions that you need. So with these, they're 30 centimetres long, but they're 15 centimetres wide. So naturally, if you're going to score them down the middle, like you can see with this one, straight away you have got your card front. Equally so that means you've got 50 cards straight away. But if you are like me, what you'll be doing is slicing them down the middle and using that as a card front, which actually means you've got 100 card fronts, which makes it a very affordable way for you to get some incredible results. Obviously, adding your own cards start to maximise the usage of this, but at that price, you might want to use them for your card bases as well. And Claire, I mean, the kind of platform and the canvas that you create with a square card gives you lots of area to work with.
It does. It gives you an awful lot of choice because you've obviously got that big square in the middle, or you can start to put it into thirds or quarters. So whatever size image you've got will work with a square card, really.
Always popular as a base, a square card. Gives you the opportunity as well that if you're wanting to add those kind of little cuts and those folds, that you do have the opportunity to change that style. And of course, it's just a nice, easy one. Confidence builder, I know I regularly use that phrase, but square cards, for some reason, are just nice and easy to work with. I mean, you've got the kind of the symmetry, I suppose. Perhaps that's what it is about a square card. Now this is interesting. What have we got going on here, Claire?
We've got one of our frames, so you do get the instructions as well as the instructions for 10 card folds. You get the instructions for the frames with this set as well.
Oh, okay.
So you can make a frame to go on the front of your cards.
Lovely idea. Some beautiful finished samples, and of course with the watercolour cardstock as a base, you can see adding your colour. Don't forget, you can add this in alongside that first bundle we looked at if you wanted to, so it would work beautifully with your A4 sheets and of course your gorgeous chrysanthemum flower stamps that you've got in there as well. But at £13.99, I am sure you will agree, whichever way you are working with this, you are going to get some absolutely incredible results. And I love it because you kind of got your traditional watercolour, but some things very contemporary. I mean, I love that style.
Definitely. I'm stood looking at the samples as you're going through them, so thank you to the design team for all of the samples, as always. But just looking at the amount of different colours, from really bright, vibrant colours to a bit of monochrome, those more vintage sepia tones and pastels, gentle things.
Beautiful.
So I love the fact you can get all these effects with one type of cardstock.
Isn't it clever? Beautiful, and it gives you so many choices. I mean, look at that one again, a gorgeous kind of ombre effect there. Love it. £13.99. What an affordable way for you to get hold of a good size piece of card there, because of course that 15 by 30, very adaptable, very useful, and 50 sheets of that for £13.99. Phenomenal value from you. Just noticed another one. Can I very quickly show you this one, because this one has been created using that as a base, I'm guessing. So there you go. It shows again that frame that you'll learn how to create with the instructions included within your bundle. You could be creating those as well. Brilliant idea. So there you go, details on your screen. 528177 if you're wanting those. Now the next bundle, now again, you've got a kind of intelligent cut with this one. I say intelligent because it's kind of thinking about the size of these pieces. So again, slightly larger where you've got 12 centimetres by 36 centimetres. But again, they're nice, easy, divisible numbers. So again, a different, interesting size, this particular one.
So this comes out to what we would traditionally maybe think of as a 7 by 5.
Okay.
Card in inches, but obviously we do it in centimetres because then it's easier for us to do the folds. So, but what's nice about this is it gives you that top fold, you know, either top fold or slim side fold.
Yes.
And I do love a top fold card.
Definitely. Now this is a nice one because this is showing you how you can kind of add additional folds in there. So if you still like your square cards, you can do those kind of Z folds there. And again, because it's 36 centimetres, divisible by 3, nice and easy for you to put those scores in there.
Yeah, and you'll get your instructions with that set as well. So,
I love it. Brilliant.
Nice and easy.
And learning all the way. Again, you're going to have those frame instructions. So whether you wanted to make little picture frames for your photographs, traditional size photographs, or whether you actually wanted to be very clever and add that hinge back on there to turn it into a card. But again, the 36 centimetres, very easy for you to divide, score and fold and create some absolutely incredible results. Love those. So 528177, just £14.99 being your price. And again, another popular bundle, and one that you can add in alongside, because don't forget, it's the same style of watercolour cardstock throughout. It's just the different cuts that you're choosing, and it's kind of that convenience of having it pre-cut and ready to go. Talking of convenience, 12 by 12, sometimes these are perfect if you're looking at doing your larger projects. Things like your scrapbook pages, things like maybe you want to chop this into your 6-inch card fronts, because you can get 4 out of each one of those sheets. So you can see there, it's about 120 of those that you can be able to create. Is that right? That is right, isn't it? 4 times 30, yeah? Wow, that's a lot of card bases. Now, of course, you've still got scope with these to use some of those techniques that we're speaking of. I love this one. I'm going to go straight in with the frame. I mean, that is something straight away you could be making and creating a gift for somebody. I love that,
Yeah, and Caroline has actually painted that, you know.
Wow,
so,
what a talented lady.
She's painted it, I've made the frame. So
beautiful.
You know, and I think it just shows the watercolour just as a great medium, you know, for the more talented people.
I think, well, both of you talented in kind of different areas, and that's the key thing. I mean, here you've got that gorgeous, it almost looks like a wood effect that you've created here, and obviously the colour has been taken into the watercolour card quite evenly. There's a few little kind of speckles in there, obviously, to show the gradient, but the coverage is brilliant. But then if you're wanting to create your true watercolour, if you are an artist, absolutely brilliant. Again, different cuts, different ways of working with these. These are brilliant, sometimes maybe just to have on your work surface to do those inky mop-ups as you've been working with as well.
Yeah, definitely, and just to show kind of how much you can throw at this card, really. That was one that I used on show at some point just to mop up, but you can
love that drippy technique.
Yeah, I mean, just see how many layers we've put on some of these.
Oh, that scrapbook page here. Oh, look, oh, that looks good. Love that, picking out those colours there, making it into the backdrop there. Very, very creative. And of course, again, acid and lignin free. So if you are using this to kind of document your memories, then you don't have to worry. Now with this one, we've got it marked up as a 7-day saver. Is that correct? I don't know. I'm not sure, but it is a brilliant saving. You've got a £7 saving and you're paying just £14.99 for your 30 sheets. So if you want to go for this one, again, bulk up if you're wanting to, 156122. So that price you only have up until Sunday morning at 8 a.m. to take advantage of. It is one of our 7-day savers. One more cut for me to share with you, then we're going to head over to demo with Claire. And this one again, it's another very popular one, especially if you're into your journals and things like that, because sometimes you need a larger piece, don't you? And these ones we're looking at an A3 size, 20 sheets in total for £12.99. So again, a very useful cut and a really good price at £17, and with a £17 saving, should I say. So £12.99, absolute bargain, 833805. Why not pop those into your basket and take advantage of those at the same time? Now, the website might be one of the most convenient places for you to shop because you can see all of those different combinations. You can check out some of those reviews as well, and also we've got Pearly Winks providing loads of colour with their fabulous spritzers and sprays. Then you've got your adhesive as well, because obviously you're going to need to do your construction, and your glue, brilliant for all sorts of opportunities. You've also got your adhesive with regards to your rolls, and on each one of those you've actually got, now let me think, you've got 4 different sizes. Is it 30 metres on each one? I can't remember now off the top of my head. It is 30 metres.
It is, yeah.
There you go, 120 metres in total. Look at that, 66 reviews and 5-star reviews across the board. That is brilliant. So again, it's a perfect way for you to add those different items into your basket. But we're going to head over to Claire because she's going to be utilising some of that cardstock to get started with and showing us how we can do a fancy fold. So
I am indeed.
What's the plan?
So let's start off, we'll use the 15 by 30 and let's go Z fold. So for that, I just need to score at 15 and 7.5, and straight away I've made something that just looks a bit, you know, a bit snazzier than your normal
it's just
fold.
So quick. I mean, that's why it's worth going for the different cuts, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
If I was using like A4, I would have to cut that before I started and lose a bit. And I just love the fact there's no waste. It's there for me. I've got the instructions. I'm good to go. So I thought what we would do is we're going to use a stencil to make a background.
Oh, okay.
So any stencil will do. So I'm just going to pop a bit of Distress Oxide, and I am just basically throwing it on here. As you'll see, I've got a piece of A3 watercolour underneath just to collect any ink and good for mopping up. So I've got mustard seed, spiced marmalade and a bit of candied apple. But I am going to soak this in water, so I'm not too worried about like how that, pop a bit up there, how that looks on there at the moment, which isn't that pretty, but you know, we can live with that.
Gorgeous choice of colours.
Exactly. So I am going to, we're just going to use water this time, but you could use your Pearly Winks. And I'm going to put plenty of water on this. And then I'm just going to grab a small piece. I've just cut this down from A4, or you could cut it down from your 15 by 30. So this is just 15 by 15. And I am just going to pop that on there.
Okay. There's a lot of water that you put on there, but
there is.
Yeah,
but I want it.
Taking it on board, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I want the water to do the work for me, so that's why I've put plenty down. So this is, I love this because I can't really tell what it's going to look like, and that's
kind of the
always
anticipation. And like, try again, anticipation.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look.
So that's done absolutely. I'm quite happy with that. So it's got a little bit of extra water on, so I'm going to give it a quick dab. Which will take a bit of the colour off it.
And again, there's plenty left on that stencil. Oh, look at that.
But
more on the stencil to use on another card front.
Definitely. So you could use that, and if I lift this up as well.
Oh, wow.
It's done that underneath as well.
Yeah.
So you could then use that, and what we'll do is we'll pop that one.
Oh, okay, right.
On there. And that'll give us that second print, and then I can cut those up at a later date.
Fabulous.
Let's see what that one's done. Go on. So yeah, a little bit more patchy, but there's definitely bits in that I would.
But it's kind of, you build it up, wouldn't you? You'd come back in at a later stage and add more colour, add more layers.
Or use a stamped image in here and just use part of it. So yeah, I love both of those. But not at the moment.
They can wait for another time.
They can. Excuse me.
Oh, bless you.
What I'd say with watercolour is wherever possible, let it dry on its own.
Okay.
Just because it'll kind of find its way, it'll let the ink sink into it a little bit more.
Okay.
And always let it dry before you stick it to anything as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back our card front. And then I am going to bring one that is dry. So exactly the same, this one's a bit patchier. I actually prefer the one I've just done, but you know. So,
it's not dry, so you can't use it.
Exactly. So what I'm going to do is, rather than cut this to size, because for me, whenever I try and cut something to size to cover a panel, like you said, I end up cutting it and it ends up far too small. Or just a quick reminder on your glue, every time you use it, give that nozzle a wipe, keep it nice and clean.
Lovely, and we've got those bottles, we'll just pop the details up on the screen. Now when they come to you, they are just waiting for you to add your glue into, and you can see £13.99 will get you both of those. Brilliant bottles because that's got that incredibly fine detail nozzle, but you've also got your unclogger that's for, or your non-clog glue, should I say. It's like a pin that sits within that nozzle, very, very clever. £13.99 for both of those, but you'll need some glue to pop in them, so let me help you with that as well. Now this is a brilliant adhesive because you can use it in so many different ways. It's clear when dry and it's called your EVA glue. You can use it in loads of different scenarios, not just for your paper where you're putting your paper to paper. It could be your MDF you're putting together, it could be your gems that you're putting in place. You can use it pretty much for any situation where you need an adhesive, a wet adhesive. £13.99, 538442, and obviously getting those fine detail nozzle bottles means you've got real control, but it has got a swivel lid with that one, so if you're wanting to go for it just as it is, then that's okay.
I was going to just quickly show you because we've just had a new nozzle on this, so it's even easier now. So it just opens and then it'll
just do your top up from there.
And it's super easy.
Fabulous, thank you for that, Claire.
And yeah, the new nozzle has made it like even easier.
Love it.
And I've got a nice full glue bottle as well, so I've done my housekeeping. So I've stuck that on the front there, and then I've just trimmed along there with my scissors, so that fits perfectly on there. I've got no white lines showing. And then this second piece I'm going to stick on our back panel.
Okay.
So again, I'm letting the card kind of, rather than cut it to size first, I've let the kind of the card work out where it wants to go itself a little bit, and then just because you've got a little bit of wiggle room, so straight away on there. Oh, it's wiggled far too much now.
Too much wiggling going on.
There you go. There you go. So already that looks lovely and it matches perfectly. So remember, nozzle on your glue. So now we need a centrepiece to this card.
We do indeed.
So what I've done is I've taken our chrysanthemum, I've stamped that with the VersaFine Clair, so this is the stamp I've used, and I've just used some clear embossing powder and we're good to go. And when I was on the other week, we made a stamp using funky foam.
Oh, okay, right.
So it's just funky foam, stamped, and then that makes us a solid for our detailed stamp.
Right, okay.
So if anybody needs any more information.
Do you know which show that would have been? Can you remember the date?
It was...
Putting you on the spot there, sorry about that.
It was just before Christmas. It was about
so it's probably still on our
yeah,
schedule then.
Yeah, it will be.
All right.
I'll pop a link up on the Pink Frog Inspiration page later.
Thank you for that, Claire.
So, but yeah, this is a great way, again, so if colouring, you know, if you think, oh, my colouring never looks as good as anybody else's, this is a great way to get colour down.
As well, I mean, this is a quick way of adding your colour as well, because if you're making your cards to sell, you don't necessarily want to be spending hours and hours and hours. Obviously, with your nearest and dearest cards, we don't mind doing that at all. But if you're making cards and you want to make a profit, then you don't want to be spending too much time on them.
So this, and because of the nature of what I'm going to do, I don't really care if it's not quite perfect.
Okay.
Because it will give me that look. But then what I can do to make it look, kind of match that, because that looks very crisp against that, let's give it a spray and let that water pool out of there a little bit and meld a little bit, and that will just kind of bleed a little bit out of there. It'll find its own way,
won't it? Because obviously it's following the grain that you've got within your cardstock.
It does. So you just need to almost flood it, because you need it to come over those embossed lines. But I want the embossed lines because I still want to see that detail.
So the embossed line will
stamp.
kind of keep that crisp detail there, but then obviously the water has helped the colour move around. Lovely.
So there's one. So it'll take a while.
Okay, and again, let it just dry itself.
Let it dry.
Okay.
And you'll see it just all seeps into that detail.
Beautiful.
And what I'm actually going to do though is I just want a little bit more red. That's not red.
Oh, now you're coming in with the pencils.
I'm coming in with the pencils.
These pencils, I mean, I've been looking at the range of colours that you've got in here. You've got 24 pencils in there. There's a brilliant range of different colours there. All sorts of different eventualities. So if you're into your hot colours or your cool colours, don't worry, they are in there. And you've also got lighter tones like your white there to add your accents, and of course your deeper tones for your shadows as well. And these are nice, like you can see here, I mean, adding on top of your stamp.
Yeah, so I am just literally adding a bit of a scribble. There is an ordinary brush that comes with it that you could use with water.
I see. Okay, right.
But I'm actually going to use my water brush, and I'm just going to move that red because I just wanted a little bit more red. So it'll just add another layer of detail in there.
Makes it look more three-dimensional by adding that colour, doesn't it?
It does, and because it adds it kind of on top of the ink that's already there. So this, as you've seen, I've already had ink on it, I've already put loads of water on it. I'm going back in now with even more watercolour on there.
And it's not having an effect, because sometimes if you get a more economical, well, I say economical, I mean, it's an economical price, but sometimes a lesser quality, should we say, then you get those kind of little balls that come off the top of it. It's almost like it's peeling away.
Yeah, but this, it's brilliant stuff, especially for somebody who, like me, just wants to have a go at some of these techniques. It is so forgiving, it really is. So that has just added just another layer into that. And then we can add that to our card front.
Now, of course, the stamp that's been used is available by itself at the bottom of your screen. But don't forget the bundle at the side of your screen, including those pencils, as well as your A4 watercolour cardstock as well. So it really is a fabulous bundle if you're wanting to go for the pencils and the stamps. Definitely go for that one as well. And then just adding a little bit of foam to
give it
that
back.
depth.
Yeah, just to make it pop a little bit more.
Oh, we've got a brilliant bundle. I was just looking on the screen there. You've got your foam sheets, you've got your foam on a roll, and you've got your foam pads as well. So covered for all eventualities there. £24.99. £5.50 saving on that one. And of course, if you're adding these into your basket and you're finding that total coming to £60 or more, spread the cost over 2 payments, and it means you get everything in one go, but in 2 convenient payments to make it maybe a little easier on your pocket.
And what you can see is I've cut a couple of those down to fit the kind of triangle-y bits as well. So, you know, don't think, oh, you know, the foam pads are too big, or, you know, just cut them, they're fine. And then we've just got a little message. So we've done this exactly the same, put a bit of ink down, bit of water and lifted it up, so it's given us that faux bleaching effect on there
and that
as
sentiment,
well.
that's one of the stamps that's on that set as well.
It is, and then we'll just use a little tiny bit in the middle of that, so it'll kind of hover, and we'll pop you across there, wishing you a fabulous day.
And that's lovely, because that could be a fabulous day because it's a birthday or an anniversary or a wedding.
Yeah, it could be you're meeting your friend for lunch and you just wanted to write something nice in or something like that. So yeah, you know, it doesn't always need to be for a big occasion.
That's fabulous, Claire. Really enjoyed that demonstration. Thank you very
you.
much. Some fabulous techniques in there as well. So what a clever idea. Now, of course, Claire's been utilising lots of elements that we've got on the show, including the watercolour cardstock. Now, our first bundle includes watercolour cardstock alongside those fabulous pencils she used as well. And of course, you can't fail to have noticed that gorgeous chrysanthemum that she was working with, which has come from the stamp set. Now, the stamp set is brilliant because not only have you got your focal point of your fabulous chrysanthemum there, you've got some foliage in there, you've got some wonderful sentiments. You've even got a stamp that could be used on the inside of your card, almost like a little verse. But at £26.99, it really is an amazing bundle and brilliant value for money. Now, the stamp itself is available by itself, but just for that extra bit, I think it was about £12, something like that, and a few pennies, you are getting those fabulous pencils, 24 of those watercolour pencils in there, brilliant range of colours in there, and of course you are getting your watercolour cardstock alongside it. So it's a brilliant bundle with this one. Did we make, is this the one that's got the super smooth in there as well?
Yes.
It has, so there you go. You're going to be able to test that one out as well. Brilliant, lovely bundle, really good value and a fabulous one to give as a gift for somebody, maybe a bit of a treat for yourself. £26.99, you've got that £4.20 saving, but take advantage of it while you have the opportunity, because sometimes these bundles aren't around forever. The next one, oh, this is a brilliant bundle if you're liking creating your smaller cards as well. So if you're into sort of A6 style cards, then this one's a really good one to go for because it's kind of cut to the right size. Now, the thing that you find sometimes with card pre-cuts like your A4, they're cut and they're kind of a bit of an odd shape. 29.7 centimetres, I think, an A4 sheet is. That's not very easy for you to divide. Now, you can cut it down and then fold it if you wanted to make it easier, but why would you want to cut your cardstock smaller? You've got the waste and it's the inconvenience. With this, you've got the convenience that they're already pre-cut. They're 30 centimetres long, which is not far off your A4 size, but the beauty is because it's 30 centimetres, if you wanted to score and fold it at the halfway point, 15 centimetres, nice and easy. If you want to score it into thirds, then 10 centimetres, nice and easy. And obviously the increments are very, very easy for you to work with. 10.5 centimetres means that it's roughly half the width of your A4 sheet as well. So really convenient size to work with. And of course a brilliant one for you to create a variety of different styles of cards. Because it being the watercolour cardstock, all of those techniques that we've spoken of, you can use with these as well. So whether you are using your stamps and you're kind of stamping them and moving that colour around by adding a bit of water, or maybe you're going to be stamping with your fabulous inks and then moving the colours around that you've used from the pencils. There's lots and lots of different ways and different results you can get with this, and the confidence is there that you can do it with your watercolour cardstock because it's such a brilliant quality. £10.99, very affordable for 80 sheets as well. So if you want to know, 993567. Now have another quick look at one of the most popular bundles that we've got for you during this hour, and this is where you're going to get your A5, you're going to get your A6 with this one, and you're also going to get your A4 as well. So it's a really good size bundle. Now you're going to get 50 sheets of your A4 and your 50 sheets of your A5 and 100 of those A6 cards that you've got there. None of them are pre-scored, so you can decide on the size that you're wanting to work with these, and they're brilliant because they work really well together. So that's going to conveniently sit on the front of your A5 cards if you're going to score and fold those. £21.97. How affordable is that? £18 saving. You are getting absolutely loads of cardstock in loads of different sizes, so that means you've got the convenience of creating all sorts of different projects. But of course the watercolour kind of effect of this cardstock means you can use all those fabulous techniques as well. Brilliant weight as well at 280 GSM. So if you're wanting those at £21.97, 713653 if you're liking the look of those. But another very convenient and popular size has been the next bundle, especially if you're into your square cards. cards. Now these are brilliant because they are 15 centimetres by 30 centimetres. So straight away, if you're wanting to score and fold, you can make your fabulous square cards. Now it does come with a variety of different instructions, including instructions on how you can create these fabulous frames. And that base there is the same size as the cardstock that you can see. So you can see it's a very convenient size, and it's been a popular one as well. £13.99, 217888 if you're liking the look of those. They're all on the website though, so you'll find them all there should you need them as well. And of course it's the same watercolour cardstock throughout, so if you are thinking of using elements from one bundle and using with another bundle, then you don't need to worry at all. Now what about if you're wanting to add a little bit of colour? Well, we can help you with that as well, because Pearlywinks work very closely alongside Pink Frog, and they've put together some brilliant bundles, and I know we're going to see some of these in action. So if you're wanting to get hold of these, some lovely bundles, you can see you've got your metallics featuring in these as well, and don't forget those fundamentals that you need, things like your adhesive, your foam tape, that removable scotch tape, so useful. And if you're wanting to create things like your own stencils or maybe use them as blending mats, you've got your mylar featuring there. And don't forget that masket sheet as well if you wanted to build up your design. And if you want more than chrysanthemums in your collection, then we can help you with those. We've got all sorts of beautiful stamps there with some fabulous reviews, which of course you can check out before you even place your order if you so choose. Pink Frog, they've got a big section on our brand section of the website, so you can always visit that. You don't have to wait for Claire to be here with her wonderful demonstrations. You can shop at any time you so choose. Love it. Talking of Claire, we've left her alone for long enough. Heaven knows what she's been up to while I've been gone. What have you got there?
So this is a piece of A4, and I've stamped this using one of our chrysanthemum stamps. I've stamped it with some Versafine Claire, the Twilight one, and just used a bit of clear embossing powder over the top. So again, we'll just get a little bit of a resist.
It's like you've made your own wrapping paper.
Well,
there.
this is kind of where we're going. So, I mean, you could have done this in A3 as well. I've gone A4. So this is our basis. We're now going to throw some colour at it.
Ooh,
so we're going to get our
nice.
Pearlywinks out.
Okay.
This is the magenta one. So this is in our set of 7, and we're just going to pop that over the top.
Lovely.
And then this is the anemone blue one, which is kind of like a purple colour, really.
Okay.
And that will just go over. And straight away, you're just making your own, you know, wrapping paper. And what's lovely is I turned this, and then this is the sparkling silver. So this is out of the set of 4 with the metallics.
Right,
in.
so the metallics have got a different item number. So if you're wanting the metallics alongside the 7 sprays that we've just been speaking of, they're at the bottom of your screen.
So again, I would leave that be. If I wanted to move it about a little bit more, you could just add some water,
look at those colours
and you'll
moving.
see it just starts to move and puddle, and you get some great effects. And you just have to be brave. Just let it let it do its thing.
Lovely.
So again, I'm going to pop this to one side, but I have got one that's dried.
Wonderful.
Just be careful if you've got it on your craft room floor. Don't step into it.
Now the 7 colours that you've got, there's a good bit of advice there. 7 colours featuring in this one. Of course, you've got the anemone that we saw there in the magenta. What other colours have we got in this bundle, Lottie? Oh, let me show you. We've got a picture to share with you. So here you go. You've got loads of different colours in this one as well. So you've got those gorgeous magenta. You've got your yellow. You've got your blue in there as well. You've got diamond pearl. So if you're wanting to add a little bit of a shimmer, then you can do with those as well. You've also got your white as well. So if you want to do those white splats, a gorgeous orange in there and a different tone of blue as well. So it's a really nice bundle. Perfect one for you to try out those sprays if you wanted to. Just £22.97. Now the metallics, if you want the metallics, they're in a separate bundle. Definitely worth going alongside them, but you need to be quick because they are now limited in stock. So here you can see you've got your silver tone, your 2 different, well, it's kind of like a gold and a copper, isn't it? And that gorgeous pearl feature in there as well. So £12.99, but do be quick, limited in stock, so they're not going to be around forever. £499-830 if you're wanting those. Lovely, I like that. Nice combination.
So you can see it dries and you have that shine to it. And then I've done exactly the same on a little tag. But again, I just want to add a little bit more detail. So I'm going back in with my pencil, and this is quite happy. It'll quite happily sit over. You can see quite a lot of silver on this one, but it'll go over the silver, no problem. And I just wanted it to add, just again, a bit more definition back into my flower. And just straight away, you'll see it start to move. And, you know, I'm not being gentle with it. I'm not being careful. I am just throwing colour at it.
It's a really good idea, like you say, with the embossing there, because it kind of gives you that base shape there, doesn't it?
It does.
Beautiful.
The embossing is a great way to kind of hold your colours in, so it's a great to kind of like look after you a little bit more. Let's just bring those edges in a little bit over the top. And it just makes that flower detail pop a little bit more.
And the birthday wishes sentiment that you can see, that is actually featuring within the stamp set as well. The words are separate, so you can make your own combinations with those as well.
Yeah, so you have birthday wishes, happy birthday, and then you've got the sentiments that will sit either in front or on front of your card.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now is turn this into a little card.
Oh, okay,
so
right.
We are going to score this at 15. So
I don't know if I asked you what size card you were working with to start with.
You didn't, and I didn't say. 15 by 30,
okay.
So I've just scored that in half. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trimmer, because I thought we'd do kind of like a little floating card.
Oh, okay, right.
So I want to take this. So I want that to be on. I want to take 10 centimetres off that.
Right.
So I'm taking 10 off there. So I've got this little funny little stumpy card.
Right,
and then with the 10 centimetres I've got left, I'm going to cut that in half, and that will give me 5. So I've got a piece for the bottom of my card as well.
So easy though when you've got those complete numbers to just cut it in half.
You don't even have to think about it, that they just work. And what I've done is I've taken that big piece and just cut it. So again, it gives you that continuation of pattern, even though I'm going to split it up.
Okay.
And I've just put this on some glitter card.
Lovely, a little bit of shimmer. Can't go far wrong with a bit of shimmer.
Exactly. So I'm going to pop that one on the bottom. Go. Like I say, the nice thing with the EVA is you've got that little bit of manoeuvrability.
It's brilliant adhesive because you can use it on so many different things, can't you?
Definitely.
I couldn't get over it. I mean, even when you put MDF together and your gems, when you're putting those in place, it's nice to have a glue that you don't have to think about, isn't it, really?
It's just brilliant. So at the minute we've got 2 pieces, but they're not very joined up. So what I've done is I have cut a tag to match. I'm going to pop this on some foam pads because it's still a little bit damp, so the foam pads will stick a little bit better. I'll put a third one on there. So that's going to go on the front of our little tag. And then we're going to use...
So the foam pads on a roll as well?
Yeah.
Because I was just noticing the waist. That makes it easy.
I cut mine into like little strips so I can transport them. But yeah, so
that makes it easy,
so
doesn't it?
they come off really easily. So we'll show you on the other side. I'm going to cut these actually.
You've almost got like a little finger lift bit to them as well.
So you've got like finger lift almost both sides really, because this side will lift off the roll, and then you've got the finger lift bit left on the side, so it's really easy. So this I am going to pop on here.
Oh, okay, right.
And then I'm going to work out how big I need my foam pads on here.
Well, this is a different style card, I like this.
I'm going to pop this on here and pop that one on there. And I'm going to let the card do the work for me, so I know I want this to be lined up at the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm lining that up there, and I'm just going to bring this over, and that's going to attach it, so that looks it for you.
And there's the floating aspect.
There you go. So you've got that little bit in there. So
beautiful.
You know, just a great way. And I love the fact then, so in front of you, I think you've got the bottle bag that matches this.
I spotted that one, don't you worry.
Sorry, it's empty.
Oh, never mind.
But we've done exactly the same. That's the same stamp, same sprays, and we've just used the instructions that come with the A3 to make the bottle bag and a matching tag. And what I love is you can give a really quite inexpensive gift and it looks like $1 million because it all matches and looks like you've made a big effort.
Incredibly strong, that cardstock as well, for you to create things like this. But isn't that a brilliant, really clever idea as well? And obviously the card that was created, we've actually got another version of it. Let me just grab hold of that, see if I can get hold of it without knocking everything over, which would normally be my technique. But look at that. Can you imagine creating those and giving those as a gift to somebody? They are going to be absolutely thrilled to bits. Love that style as well. Very, very clever. So if you fancy creating something like this, you're going to need the cardstock that we've got on the show. Of course, you've got your pencils to add that dimension, add that inner detail that we saw earlier on. But don't forget, check out some of the larger cardstock that we've got, things like your A3 that will allow you to create things like your bottle bags as well, and also things like your frames as well. So if you're wanting to get hold of these, £26.99 will get you your A4 sheets, will get you super smooth cardstock, get those fabulous pencils and that all-important stamp that we saw Claire working with, 060447. Guess what? Funky foam was being used in one of the first demonstration, wasn't it? Now, Pink Frog, oh, that'll be Andrew. Andrew's watching, he's been in touch and he's let us know the date of the show. So if you want to go back and watch it, here we go. It's on Rewind. So of course it was just before Christmas. So if you go back the 19th of December, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's where you'll be able to learn how to create your own stamps from stamps. I love that idea. Adam was presenting in that one, and I think he'll have enjoyed that. I'm sure he will have done. Now, if you fancy going back and watching, then you can do. Those shows are available for another 41 days, so don't leave it too long before you do go back and check. And of course, there you go. Thank you, Andrew, for getting in touch. Well, I'm presuming it was Andrew. Might not have been. Oh, it was Kim.
I was going to say it'd be Kim.
Kim. Kim's got a finger on the pulse. So, yes, what were we doing then? So, yeah, details on the screen for that bundle. Got a bit distracted for a moment then. What sort of time have we got left on the show? Oh, about 5 minutes or so.
That's
Claire. Is that okay?
absolutely fine, yeah. So, Funky Foam again, I've made a little heart stamp, so I've just used this with one of my dies. So,
clever.
You know, anything solid is great. So, I thought this would be just a great way to use some watercolour. So, I'm just going to put some colours on here. So this is just a little piece of card that I've trimmed down to fit the card that I'm doing. What colour am I going the other side? Purple, if I can find it. You know what, we'll go blue. It's absolutely fine. And you could use, let's use the pearl actually. So we could go pearl, but again, it's just showing you that you can stamp and the card will take quite a lot of water.
So just let it what happens with this.
And it just blends. I've put a little bit too much on that one, but you know.
You can just lift it out, can't you?
Yeah,
look at that.
Straight away. So, and then you can move this along.
Oh, that's pretty.
And then let's give that a quick wipe. And then we'll go a bit of blue and then we'll go a bit darker.
It's got a very contemporary look to it, hasn't it?
Yeah, this is. I love this. This is quite me. So.
Oh, and of course, got to Valentine's Day coming up next month as well.
So, but yeah, so it's nice that you know. Again, you could use circles to do this as well. So again, that one on there. Again, I would be quite happy to let this sit and do its own thing normally.
But again, any occasion that you're giving a card, you're giving a little bit of love, aren't you? So there you go.
Let's go orange and let's throw a bit of green in the other end. And then give it a quick spray. There you go.
Oh, pretty.
So I just love the fact that this card just takes, you know, wet mediums so very well.
It certainly
does.
So
at that point, what we can do is I have already, so you'll see, I've done exactly the same, but just let it sit in the water a little bit more. And the other thing you can do with your pearly winks, I think it was the copper one, is spray a bit of copper down on your table. and just
now those
grab...
metallic ones that you can see here, that we are extremely limited in stock with regards to these now. So if you do want
So you can put your splats over the top as well.
That's a nice technique with them.
So,
yeah.
you know, if you want a bit more controlled, because sometimes when you spray it goes, you know...
I'm guessing
like,
you could use that technique if there were certain aspects of the chrysanthemum stamp that you wanted to put a little bit of a gilding
you could mask
in, yeah?
that off as well.
Yeah.
So what we've done is we've got a 10.5 by 30. I've followed our instructions and scored that at 7.5 each side. So that gives us our little gatefold.
And this is one of your favourite cuts of card, isn't it? I remember us doing a show together before.
It is. I just think it's, they're just like super dinky, and I think, you know, it's not over facing, so maybe...
And do they fit into an A or C6
C6
card?
envelope?
Sorry, envelope, yes.
Yeah, so they fit into your standard cards. I love giving notelets as a gift as well, so it's a, you know, quite an inexpensive way to give like a set of notelets, and that will sit on there, and then somewhere on here I've lost my little sentiment.
Oh, don't worry.
You know.
Well, I'm just very going to quickly mention something that's been very popular during the ad, just so you can grab hold of your sentiment, Claire. That larger bundle that I was telling you about, the one where you've got your 50 of your A4, 50 of your A5 and 100 of your A6. Details are up on your screen. This is very close to going limited in stock, so if you're wanting that bumper bundle, the details are there on your screen. Some really useful sizes with regards to these, so if you're wanting that bundle, the details are there.
And it's that I'm using to make these little pieces in the middle. You know, that I've just dibbed into this box all the way through. So this is one of our sentiments. I think this one's from Typewriter Editions. I've just stamped it on a little bit of black card, and that will just sit in the middle and make the cutest little gatefold card. So there you go.
I love it.
So really quick, really easy, but just the way the water moves on that card,
perfect.
It does make you feel as though you can do things, and I think that's really empowering in craft.
That's the thing, like you say, very much empowering, and yeah, confidence builder through and through, isn't it? Now, the details are on your screen of that original bundle that we were telling you about, with your watercolour pencils included in this one. You've got your A4 cardstock, which is your watercolour cardstock, and of course you've got your super smooth in this, but you've got your stamp as well. I've seen the stamp used in so many different ways throughout. Excuse me, my throat's suddenly gone a bit croaky. So, a bit croaky because it's Pink Frog. There you go. It's rubbing off on me. So, your stamp, obviously you've got your large chrysanthemum feature in there. You've got all of those different sentiments you can see. Absolutely perfect throughout. And you've got lots of different ways you can utilise those. You've got your happy and your birthday separate, which means you can use your birthday alongside your wishes in there. You've got your larger stamp here with a fabulous sentiment that's going to be perfect to go on the inside of your cards. Equally so, though, you can pop it on the front. And because you've got that large open stamp, it gives you the perfect platform for you to utilise those wonderful pencils that you've got in there as well. This bundle, nearly 2/3 of the stock has gone. Not surprised. You've got a brilliant price there, and you'll be able to find this one on the website alongside everything else we've been chatting about. So all your pre-cuts are going to save you so much time, make it so easy for you to actually create those card bases, and you can see some fabulous reviews there. Don't forget, if you're looking for those metallics from your Pearly Winks and your Pink Frog collaboration, they are hanging on by a thread. Please don't leave it too long before you place your order for those. And Claire, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a delight.
I've really enjoyed it. When are you due back again?
I think I'm back in February. Dawn's back later in the month.
Perfect. We'll look out for it. Don't forget, check out that show, 19th of December, 2 o'clock.